Welcome back to our final edition of our At-Home Learning with WGCU web series, which we present PBS Learning Media. For those of you joining for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who have joined us over the last 3 sessions and now 4, we're so glad you're returning. Today, we're going to be looking over student-centered and student-created lessons, and how you can use these as informal assessment strategies or ways to connect with parents as we continue the virtual learning throughout the remainder of the school year. I see Lucinda's already chimed in on the chat, and Susan, welcome. I'm encouraging you as you join on, please feel free to unmute yourself to ask questions along the way, or to stop and present some ideas of ways that you've been able to incorporate PBS Learning Media in your remote learning, or maybe some challenges you've had and how we can help you and guide you through those. I'll do my best to monitor the chat feature throughout our session today, and I always try to follow up with any questions that may linger after our session. As a reminder, these sessions are being recorded. So if you haven't joined us in any of the past ones, or maybe you missed one, you'll certainly be able to refer back to them. We'll have the link up on the WGCU website and also send it out through emails and send out the links, so you can certainly send it to your colleagues and share it. All right, so let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Stephanie Murray. I am working in the ed tech industry, and I also work with WGCU to bring the wonderful PBS content to the school districts throughout Southwest Florida. And we know that it is a challenge. There's a lot of things that have been thrown at you over the last few weeks, and we're in the home stretch as we finish out this school year and work beyond that into the summer months. And so we're hoping that things you've picked up on in these short 20-minute tutorials have maybe helped you over the last few weeks and beyond. So thanks for joining us here today. I also want to remind folks that we understand that equity is an issue. Some children might not have devices. Some kids might not have the streaming capabilities or the internet connection needed. And to that end, WGCU, along with the PBS stations across the country, have changed our broadcast schedule. So this is for this week. You'll see it up on the screen. Each week, we're launching a new kind of the shows that they see on TV. So even if they don't have a device, they can still, at minimum, tune into PBS on their televisions and get that rich educational content that aligns with the Florida curriculum. So here's the one for today. I know I have mentioned this in the past, and we keep talking about WGCU, but I've yet to walk you through the website. So that's where we're going to start our demonstration today. I'm going to open that up for you. Right now, although it's freezing, so let's see. Okay. So welcome. This is the WGCU Kids website. You can follow along or also tune into it later after our broadcast today, WGCUkids.org. And if anything, you're not sure what we've mentioned over the last 4 weeks, or you remember something but you're not sure how to access it, come to this site. It is your main portal. It will launch you out to wherever you need to go. So for example, if you need help connecting with parents, maybe we've heard for some teachers that, they're having trouble. Just want to make sure you all can see my screen actually. If you can't see my screen, let me see. It's good. Okay, thanks, Susan. Yeah, hopefully you're able to see the website at this point. Okay. So maybe you're trying to connect to parents, or kids are not turning in their assignments. There's some tips and tricks for parents on the parent portal. Right here, you'll see WGCU Kids and the parents drop down. For today's purposes, we are going to chime over to the teacher site. I'm going to open that up for you. And here is the teacher's landing page. All on here, there's resources for teachers, which we will open up right now. And voila, right? It takes you to a mass amount of resources available for teachers. I'm going to head over to the PBS LearningMedia page. This is the one that we have been tackling for the last 3 sessions. And this is where we're going to wrap up our session as well. But this hopefully should look familiar to you at this point. Welcome back to PBS LearningMedia, your destination for all resources K through 12, anything you need. We have subjects that span from preschool up to the main disciplines and beyond. For today's purposes, we're going to be looking at student-centered and created assessment strategies. So as a reminder, last week, I'm going to take you to my dashboard. We created a few lessons, right? We did the lesser building tool, we did the puzzle and the quiz making tool. Just as a reminder, we looked at a hurricane video, and then we created a puzzle. You'll see here, right? We had the definition, we added the word, and voila, the website created it for us, right? And we had an answer key that goes along with it. It makes it great and easy for you to share with the students. We also talked about the formal quiz section where you can generate questions, either essay, multiple choice, true or false, or drop down, and make a full quiz for the kids. You can send them the link either via Google Classrooms or directly through the PBS LearningMedia site. And then they can take that quiz and the results are sent right back to your teacher portal. Couldn't be easier, right? But we also are cognizant of teachers trying to figure out the assessment strategies during this crisis. I've spoken with a lot of teachers across the country who are still on the fence. Their districts are trying to figure it out. Are we doing formal assessment? Are we giving traditional grades? Is it going to be pass-fail? What kind of assignments can we give? And we hear you. We know that this is an ongoing discussion, and to that end, we're trying to show you 3 different tools today that might help you. All right, so let's break it down and see what we have. I'm going to walk you through a collection for Create Your Own. So just going up to the search, I'm going to type in Create Your Own. Over 5,000 resources are available. This is great. And I'm going to pull open the second one down, the Declaration of Independence. We'll walk through this and you'll see how this might be useful for you. Being that July 4th is coming up right around the corner, we have Memorial Day, I thought this might be a good resource. So what this collection is video content that was professionally made for PBS that now students have the right to use to create their own documentary. Very cool, right? So I'll play it, you can see it. There's no sound, and the ideas are that the students will write a script, add voiceover narration, and produce a video of their own to share with you, the teacher, and their classmates. I think it's really a cool tool, especially that students have time on their own. It's more like a flipped style classroom right now. You might be able to assign this to them and they can spend a couple periods a day on their own at home working on this. Now you might say, how can they do that? They might not have the tools or the tricks. It's all on here for you. So in addition to the video, we'll go to support materials. And we have a few things for you. One is a research template. Okay, this is a working document. It has accessibility mode. You can download it and write in this document, which is great for kids. But the idea is they're going to do background research on their own or guided with you and fill this out. It's broken down pretty kid-friendly, things I must include, things I might include, and then additional facts. So it can start to kind of break down their research as to what should definitely be included and what might be added if I have time, which is great. In addition to that, we have the script writing tool. So again, it's a working document. Once they download it, they can write exactly on this page, but think of it as if they were writing an essay. They're going to have an introduction. So this tells them how to write an opening hook or an opening line. Then it breaks it down. Once that opening is done, what's the body going to be? What are the topics they want to include related to the Declaration of Independence? There's some notes on there for them as they're doing that. And then a closer. So it really kind of helps them think of the overall video and what they want to type and include. Okay, lastly, we are talking about assessment strategies, and you as a teacher might be looking for alternate ways to assess their work. And so what we've created are rubrics for you. This is, again, a working document. You can go in here and customize it as you need, or you can use it as it is presented. So it makes it really nice for you to kind of figure out how you want to assess it, whether it's pass-fail, whether it's a point system, whatever it might be. It's right here for you, which is awesome. There's a few that related. So this one's history-based, social studies-based. If you're looking for more of the science side, there is this content that relates to winter conditions. You can talk about habitats, precipitation, weather patterns, etc., and use this footage as well. So that's, again, we just hit create your own documentary in the search feature, and this is what came up. I also want to show you one more collection, and that's the Building Blocks series. In a very similar fashion, these are videos, again, no sound or narration, that you can send to your students and they can create or add it into a presentation, create their own video, etc. A note about this collection, the Building Blocks, they're shorter. So you'll see they're about 15 seconds. I think the longest one is 1 minute, but they do have a wealth of subjects that they cover. You'll see on the left-hand side, we have earth, science, engineering and tech, government, the living world, and history. So they might be able to find some content as well in this collection. There are no support materials for here, so you'll see it's just the video that they can download. I should have mentioned that for the last collection. They are all downloadable, so the students can download them and work on them on their own computers or devices, which is wonderful. All right, so that is how students can create their own content, their own videos. I want to show you one more, and that is called the interactive. I'm going to head back over. Actually, we'll do search. I'm going to search Florida. Make it a relevant topic. Just to remind you, for those who have not joined us, this is all free. Once you create an account with your name, your email, password, and your zip code, it tailors everything. You'll see Florida related, Florida standards, right? So it's all on there for you, which makes it nice. So I'm going to do Florida. What we've been talking about is media clips and media lessons. So those are the videos, the traditional things that you'll see on PBS. But what they also have are things called interactives. Over on the right, you can click interactive lesson or interactive. And it takes my 5,000 results and narrows it down to 6, which is a little easier to work with, right? I'm going to click this first one, Florida Everglades. And just looking this over, it looks kind of great. It's geared 5th through 8th grade. Okay. I'm going to search the support materials. All right, there's some materials here for teachers. Then again, related back to those Florida standards, right? Because I'm logged in under my account, it's already there for me. So that's wonderful. This is going to launch out. So interactives are self-paced lessons designed for students to walk through on their own. How great could that be for remote learning, right? That's what we're having them do already. These are already designed and created and free for you to use. So what we'd do is you would send the link to the student. They could open it right up on their own computer. And over the course of these 10 slides, they're going to interact with this lesson in interactive. Great. Let's walk through a few of these so you can kind of gauge what an interactive might look like and how you can use this as an assessment tool. So let's say you send them the link. The students are going to walk through all this content. Most of it is hyperlinked if they need more information. It talks about the goals, the vocabulary, my environment. Aha, see, this is where we're going to get those assessment strategies. Built into this interactive are spots for them to either come up with their own answers, pose new questions, whatever the task might be. So for this slide, they enter their text related to whatever they've read about. They hit save. They keep going. They save their work, so let's say they're at home. Again, time management's huge for these kids nowadays. If they can't finish it all at once, it saves it for them, which is a really nice feature. Here they watch a video. They answer some questions related to it. I'll walk you through this real quick. Here they do a matching game, which is kind of fun. An arrange it game, so there's a variety of things for them to do, all related to this content of the Florida Everglades. And then lastly, it's a checklist and their final assignment. So how do you know what they did? That's what makes it nice. These interactives allow you to see the child's progress. So if you assign this to them on their own computer at their own time remotely, they can finish this work, save it, or send it to you, and you're able to see that yes, they finished the assignment, yes, they walked through it. Here are some questions that they might have had, which is great. Are there any questions so far? I'm just going to check our chat feature. No? If there are, feel free to chat, otherwise I'll keep trucking along. So these are interactives. I saved it under my dashboard. But just as a reminder, you can search any subject, and when you want to filter, just click that interactive feature and it'll filter out only the interactive features for you. Easy, right? It couldn't be easier, which is great. All right, there's one more tip and trick that I want to show you for student-created assignments and projects, and that is Scratch Junior. This is geared for the little ones. I had it in my favorites. Scratch Junior was developed in partnership with MIT as a way to engage students in coding. Now you might be thinking, I'm trying to get through the day, lady. I can't even talk about coding. But once you learn about it, you might think, hey, this is a strategy I can share with the parents or the kids, and they can have fun with it while learning from home. So we just wanted to tease it for you. It's kind of a larger collection, and if you're interested in it, we can certainly follow up with some tips and tricks related to Scratch Junior. But essentially what it is, our students, let me scroll down. Let's do here. Students open up the free app on a mobile device, and they design a page with a PBS character. So they get to pick the character. They use blocks underneath to kind of make that character move, develop a plot. They direct that character using coding. I piloted this with a group of third graders and it worked really well. This collection has a bunch of prompts, so you can share this with parents and they can help their children. But essentially they're presented with a problem, like maybe habitats, right? Then they go on that Scratch Junior site and design a page to help the animal. So they can pick an animal, they can design the backdrop, and they can make that character move. It's kind of like a game for them, and it's really fun, and it's a nice strategy if you're trying to think of alternate assessment tools. You can then have them send it to you so you can see their work and play their game, and they kind of take pride in it. I watch these third graders. They know how to do so many things just naturally. It's wonderful to see. But they get creative and they get really excited about their game that they create through Scratch Junior. So again, it's just a nice, fun, free website. You can just search Scratch Junior up in the search bar and it'll pop up in the collection for you. I want to take just a few more minutes to open it up for any questions. And if not, I do want to summarize the things we've talked about for the last 4 weeks. So we started by what is PBS LearningMedia. We learned how you can search by subject, by grade, and by standard. We also learned how you can create a free account, right? All you needed was your zip code, and it's free. We learned how you can create a classroom, how you can share that classroom with your students for free, how they can go on the student portal and complete assignments that you send to them. We learned how you can connect it to Google Classroom. So if you already have that infrastructure set up, easily just hit send to Google Classroom and voila, it appears already on that site. We learned about assessment strategies. So we created our own lesson, right? We found media, we added a few questions to go along with it and how you can send that to kids. We did the puzzle builder, we did the quiz maker, and today we talked about create your own lessons and Scratch Junior and the interactive features. So we covered a lot over the last 4 sessions. And we encourage you to stay in contact with us. Go back to that WGCUkids.org website. And from there, you'll be able to find all of this content and contact information for anything you've read or you saw or you have questions. We'd love to hear from you. PBS is a nonprofit, which means we're here to serve you, our community, and our teachers. And so that's really what we're trying to do. We understand we're in the home stretch. We have a few weeks left of at-home learning, and then we'll see how summer goes. But really, we hope that these last 4 sessions have maybe aided you as you're trying to navigate this digital learning and this remote learning from home. So thank you for joining us today and over the last few weeks. Please feel free to share these links with your colleagues, or if you want to refer back to them, that would be great too. If there's no more questions, I just want to say thank you and have a great day. Oh, thank you. I see Susan. That's great. Okay, she asked, she can't open up the interactive on her lab due to Flash. Any suggestions? I'll look into that. It should open up. You might want to try a different browser. I'm not sure. I was using Google Chrome. And usually that might work, but if you have maybe a different browser, you might try that and the interactive might open up for you. Thank you for the question, Susan. Do we get a recording of these? Yes, so these have been recorded the last 4 sessions, and we will follow up with the link of where you can watch these, you can stream them, and we'll definitely post those for you, so you'll be able to have access to all the content we've covered over the last 4 sessions. Great, thank you for that question. And I don't see any others, but feel free to type away. I'll be on here for another minute. Okay. Thanks, Lucinda. She said, thanks, it was great. And be safe, you too. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Be safe out there.
Hey, Stephanie?
Yes.
This is Susan.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
Okay, this has been wonderful. I've been teaching for 34 years, and I've had Google Classroom for 4, but this is a wonderful resource. Awesome. But is there any way PBS might be able to contact Charlotte County Schools to allow Flash from your site? That's where I'm seeing the block is. I opened it on Chrome, I opened it on Internet Explorer, but it all has this block, and I even contacted our tech guide. He said try a different browser. But I think until the possibility of PBS contacting the school district to say, hey, we are totally public school with nothing bad, please allow Flash for this one site. Is there any way you might be able to look into that?
We can certainly look into that. I'll see if maybe there's a tech side or a tech component that might be blocking it, or if they have any tips on the national level for PBS. Maybe other districts have come across with that. So I will definitely dig around. And I have, nice to see you. I have your email from when you registered, and we can certainly follow up if we figure that one out.
Great. And how far up the coast, west coast, do you go? Because my sister-in-law lives in Tampa, and she's kindergarten. Do you cover Tampa area?
So PBS LearningMedia is like a national brand.
And when you put in your zip code.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going to tell her all about it. All our science folks, like I said, wonderful resources. It just is. I was trying to do the pick a lab. I'm like, oh, this will be great. And then it was blocked. And I'm like, oh, I'm concerned people might give up if it's blocked. So.
Great. Yeah, we understand, especially now things are being thrown at people, and the moment there's a hiccup, they're like, forget it. So I'll certainly look into that and see if there's been any troubleshooting for that issue.
Sweet. Thank you. You were wonderful. You did a great job. I joined
Thanks.
all four sessions, even one in a car, so it all worked out good.
Well, great. We love it. Thank you. Thanks for being
you.
followers. So we love it. And stay in touch. There's a Facebook group too. You can follow along there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.